Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. XRP Crypto Wolf posting this. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse asserts focus on utility amid crypto winter. Now, I got to admit, the last year or so has been pretty tough, but we have been seeing an uptick in the crypto market, and Brad Garlinghouse has mentioned that Ripple has taken this opportunity to really kind of build. 2022 was a pretty bearish year, but these crypto companies, they still have to employ people. They still have to generate revenue somehow. And, Ripple seems to come out of all these crypto winters. I feel like Brad Garlinghouse said this last crypto winter as well. Ripple has been very successful at, maintaining. They haven't laid anybody off, for example, but also just keep building. And, not only keep building, have been the most productive and successful to date. So, their business model does not rely solely on XRP. And I think that that's going to be a good point, a good sticking point too for the lawsuit. Whereas a lot of these cryptocurrency companies, they rely on the price of their coins in order to remain in business. And this is why we saw, a lot of companies, first of all, we saw companies fold because of the fact that they were scams. Terra Luna, we had Celsius go under and a handful of others. And then there was the FTX collapse back in November. And so, that was a bit of a different thing. I think the government was trying to pile on to really kind of dissuade people from getting into crypto at this point in time. Luckily for us, we do not follow the noise. We look at markets and we assess, okay, the market was down 75%. Probably a good time to get into cryptocurrency. I got into a nice hefty H-bar position down and around here in late December. Full disclosure, I did get into some more cryptocurrencies later in the spring. All things that I talk about on my Patreon, patreon.com/workingmoney channel. But as you guys can see, market has rebounded. We're up significantly and we are doing very, very well. Well, here's what Brad Garlinghouse said essentially. He painted a picture of the US market conditions and regulatory hurdles with the term permafrost to underscore the severity of the industry's predicament. However, beneath the frosty surface, Garlinghouse's remarks conveyed a sense of optimism about the future of crypto. Like a determined architect, he stressed the importance of focusing on constructing rock-solid infrastructures. And I feel like he said this too during the last bear market in 2018. The .0 Forum is a significant roundtable that ushers in prominent figures from central banks, regulators, and the tech world. This year's forum hosted a roster of notable speakers, and then it lists some of the speakers there. Now, guys, this is what they were referring to. Brad Garlinghouse mentioning this on Twitter, even if we remain in permafrost in the US, as Sheila Warren aptly coined on stage. What we've seen over the last crypto winter is a refocus on building for utility and fundamental infrastructure. Always happy to be back at the .0 Forum. And he posted a photo of him on the panel with a few others discussing Digital Assets 2.0, the innovation in crypto spring. So Brad Garlinghouse still remaining quite positive. Of course, there is need to be positive considering, the landscape that we will eventually get to once everything is said and done. So wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for posting that. Another one here from XRP Crypto Wolf. Guys, did you hear a major Hong Kong authority has chosen XRP among some other digital assets for their crypto index? So XRP has been chosen as one of those cryptos. The index aims to capture the performance of various cryptocurrencies and provide local investors with a comprehensive overview of the market. Notably, this index includes 3 prominent cryptocurrencies, and they include Shiba Inu as well, XRP, and Cardano's ADA. To ensure fair representation, the index excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as stablecoins. The HKVAC has set stringent criteria for inclusion in the index, demanding a median market capitalization of at least $10 million over the preceding 3-month period, along with a median daily trading volume of no less than $100,000 during the same time frame. So they're looking at pretty stringent requirements here. Shiba Inu, Cardano, XRP all fall within those requirements, obviously. Colin Wu's a Chinese crypto journalist. He shed some light on the backing received by HKVAC, stating that institutions enjoy support from influential figures such as Hong Kong legislator Johnny Ng, as well as major players in the industry like Huobi and KuCoin. However, it is important to note that the index is non-governmental and does not have any official regulatory status. Nevertheless, guys, they have chosen Shiba Inu, XRP, and Cardano in their in this particular investment vehicle, this trading index for Hong Kong investors. So interesting news there. Another great one from XRP Crypto Wolf here on Twitter. Diversifying into cryptocurrencies and other commodities is going to be essential, guys. guys, fiat is floundering. The US dollar going down. What is going to replace it? Well, this is Andy Schechter being interviewed by the Black Swan Capital guys. We talked a little bit yesterday about how the BRICS countries are ushering in a new reserve currency, a gold-backed reserve currency, and Jim Rickards was stating that this is going to be introduced in late August. Well, here's a little bit more about that.
People have forgot about that because now everyone's talking about it. But Jim Rickards, who I respect a lot, he has spent time at the CIA. He ran simulated financial war games for them. He's very connected. Definitely. He came out and said that BRICS is going to issue or introduce their new gold-backed currency at the August summit. This is a big deal. And think about, why have all the central banks been buying gold? Why did they all repatriate their gold? Why did the BIS reclassify it tier 1? And
zero risk.
That's right. And so all of the central banks who have been accumulating gold and have joined the BRICS union, Macron from France just openly applied, asked for invitation to this meeting. Our allies like Mexico, who have formally applied to BRICS. Now France, who wants an invitation to the new meeting. Rumor is Japan, who just bought Russian oil above the West benchmark, spurring the West and their sanctions. Rumor is that France, who bought liquid natural gas with yuan and struck a 51-point agreement with China from 5G to military engagement. Rumors are Australia and New Zealand are considering joining BRICS. This is a situation where this BRICS phenomena is growing rapidly. And he came out and publicly said that they will issue a commodity-backed, most likely gold-backed currency in their August meeting. We've been told this by the BRICS folks for over a year now, that they would introduce a commodity-backed currency. And if this is when they are going to do it, a central bank digital gold-backed, commodity-backed currency, this is going to shine a light on both of the things we're talking about here. And these are the types of things that, very quickly, the things that we're talking about, which are somewhat you have to kind of use your mind's eye. They're not concrete yet. We follow the crumbs. All of a sudden, they become real.
All of a sudden, guys, it's becoming real. Countries around the world are now eyeing this. And, I feel bad for the countries that have been getting rid of their gold. But, the smart countries, the BRICS nations, realizing gold is going to be central for this new economic framework. Of course, this all connects to tokenization on DLT technology, leveraging XRP to convert different currencies. I mean, in a world where everybody was using the US dollar, there was less of a need for that. But now we're going to see a lot of fragmentation. And, that gold-backed currency, that just might be one option for the BRICS countries to trade in. They were also toying with the idea of trading in, anything of value. And so, if one country's got oil and another country's got gold and another country's got lumber, well, you can all kind of trade based on the price of those assets. And but you're going to need to be able to transfer the value somehow. And so DLT technology leveraging a cryptocurrency that has enough liquidity, i.e., XRP. Well, I guess you can see where I'm going with this. So interesting to, keep tabs on the news, because this is supposed to be introduced later this summer. So late in August, guys, August 2023. Wanted to thank Riz XRP here and the guys over there at Black Swan Capital for this interview. You guys can check the full interview out. They have a link here. I will link this in the description of this video. Payments using Ripple is going to be a huge game changer. This one from Tim R614 on Twitter. Get this, guys. Global cloud firm spotlights Ripple as a game changer for payment services in Euro Banking Association event. Now, we've talked a little bit about Valente Technologies in the past, how they're being utilized as the back end for FedNow. Well, Valente Technologies has acknowledged Ripple's game-changing potential for payment service providers at an EBA Day event. They said they're going to be able to boost cross-border payments leveraging Ripple. Valente Technologies, a trusted cloud payment partner known for empowering financial businesses to innovate rapidly, affirmed that Ripple presents a significant opportunity for payment service providers. This endorsement came at this particular event where Vinay Brapkapar, Chief Marketing Officer at Valente Technologies, discusses the advantages of cloud payment processing and cited Ripple as a key player. Recall that most recently, the Crypto Basic disclosed an International Monetary Fund acknowledgement of Ripple and XRP as key entities in revolutionizing cross-border payments. Guys, this was courtesy of Mr. Man here on Twitter. Listen to this interview here. Valente Tech states Ripple will be one of those payment providers. Listen to this.
premium on reducing the cost of doing payment processing. And that's something that payments in the service as a service in the cloud happens to be particularly good at, is helping banks reduce the cost of their infrastructure so they can use those funds for other things, like, for example, providing more value-added services. And that's really the other side of it. It's not just about cost reduction. It's also about the fact that banks today have to deal with a lot more different kinds of payment types, real-time payments, new cross-border settlement methods like Ripple and GPI. And on the front end, they've got to deal with open banking, APIs, and really becoming value-added service providers.
Not to take into account.
Exactly. So as a result, the agility that moving to a service model brings, the speed that cloud brings, is, if it were just those things, that would be enough. But the fact that the cloud also is now more secure than a typical bank data center and performs better, really when you put all those things together, it's a huge win for payments as a service providers.
Just wanted to make a quick note here. Mr. Mann did mention CGI, which is not what he said. It was GPI. If you guys listen to the interview, he mentioned GPI, meaning Swift's GPI. Nevertheless, also mentioned Ripple, talking about payments, payment services, the integration, the interoperability, and the fact that Valente Technologies does leverage Ripple. Of course, Vinay probably already realizes the benefit that Ripple can produce for their clients, in this case, Valente Technologies, and he's probably already seen the improvement since that integration. So, you know, talking about it being public, about the partnership, and this is the Euro Banking Association. We've talked about FedNow and Valente for domestic payments. Guys, this is just the beginning, and we haven't even seen FedNow take off as of yet. Ripple for payments globally. This is the name of the game. Even back in 2017, Arthur Britto insinuated that the XRP ledger is going to serve all the money. And I mean, since then, we've added a few caveats. I mean, it can handle all the money. Will it handle all the money? I mean, I don't think in any scenario that would be prudent, putting all your eggs in one basket. But guys, the vision was there. The XRP ledger needs to be able to scale to serve 7.5 plus billion people and even more devices. He said this back in June 2017. This was 6 years ago. But he had the foresight back then. The XRP ledger needs to be able to scale to serve 7.5 billion people. And guys, how many people are there on planet Earth? At least as of 2017, that is probably roughly around the amount. You guys can see here, Arthur Britto posted this, one of the founders, the original founders of the XRP ledger. Anders bringing up some other great information here, okay, from way back in 2017. Most importantly, we remain more committed than ever to the simple goal of making XRP the world's reserve digital currency. We've heard that before, even from Brad Garlinghouse from that interview he did in Korea, okay? And even Bob Way chimed in on this. Somebody responding to a question, but I believe it is actually possible to force XRP into the position of de facto bridge currency, and that is what the patent is about. So in summary, is it fair to conclude that Ripple, or another designated entity sitting on a massive pile of XRP, is in fact a preferable strategy to distributed minting mining, or mining rather, of other token distributed methods? This is what I always thought that Ripple's secret sauce was, not because of how much they own of it themselves, but because they can use the stash to bootstrap and fund liquidity. Okay, this was from 2019, fast forward to today, and that is exactly what Ripple is doing over and over again until XRP is the de facto bridging asset. So essentially, the asset that is going to bridge all assets. 7.5 billion people are going to be using XRP, in other words, in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not exclusively, but it is going to be the de facto bridging asset. In this fact, even if we assume a better, faster, cheaper, more secure network token comes along, it can't compete without using the same strategy of holding back massive amounts of the token to fund the network rollout and liquidity incentives. And guys, look at what Bob Way posted here. Bingo, you are right on the money, my friend. Anders also posting this. Nobody has enough BTC to force, subsidize, or incentivize BTC into that position. My same logic holds for all the current popular cryptocurrencies. So we can see where XRP has a leg up. He also posts this, automatically chooses the cheapest path from Project Icebreaker, and that is exactly what a lot of these systems already do. Choose the cheapest path. It just so happens that in a lot of these cases, it is XRP. David Schwartz's speech also mentioning countries that don't modernize their domestic systems will not see the benefits of the revolution in payments taking place today pushed to endpoints in that country. So David Schwartz has also been very vocal about XRP utility, how it also has to be that high enough price in order to facilitate this. So If this was their plan, guys, back in 2017, how close are we going to get? I also wanted to bring this up, a video that I did about a year ago, back in April of 2022. Arthur Britto from, at this point, it was about 10 years ago, so now I guess it would be 11 years ago, on a Reddit forum. This is what Arthur Britto predicted about XRP and the XRP ledger. Let me bring you guys to this post here. This was posted on Reddit about 10 years ago, okay? And this is a great find here by OK____cool on Twitter. This was a post made by Arthur Britto. Have you heard of open transactions? Pre-XRPL founder knows Arthur Britto, per fellow travelers on Reddit, stumbled upon this Britto post from 10 years ago, the inception of Ripple. Thought it was interesting. And listen to what he says here. In the future, these three complementary technologies will merge: Bitcoin, open transactions, and Ripple. Again, guys, this was from 10 years ago. Open transactions will gateway our current blockchain Bitcoins in and out of open transaction Bitcoins. OT Bitcoins will allow people to have instant anonymous transactions off the blockchain. This will solve an aspect of Bitcoin's scalability. Open transactions will also allow transactions using contracts and other currencies. And Ripple will allow people to enter the cryptocurrency milieu without needing to use an exchange. So even at this point, they were saying Ripple is going to be this intermediary that really shakes things up. And just down here, this is a longer post here by fellow traveler, a response from, again, 10 years ago now. And so where was it? Just down here, right over here. At some point, OT will also support Ripple, payments following a path, P2P, routed across credit lines that individuals extend to each other in multiple currencies. The potential here is that banks and exchanges will no longer be able to act as the gatekeepers to the financial system, since people will be able to settle up with those they already know offline and in any currency they wish. So even 10 years ago, they were stating Ripple is going to essentially make banks obsolete. Banks and exchanges will no longer be the gatekeepers. They will become obsolete. This was the guy who was hired, one of the guys who was hired to create the XRPL, worked at Ripple from the beginning, him alongside with David Schwartz and Jed McCaleb. And so I know, this has been the prediction all along in the XRP community. RippleNet and XRP going to be the technology that transforms the financial system for the multitude of reasons that we go on about on this channel. But here's more striking evidence, guys, from 10 years ago. This is something I've never even seen before, stating flat out that Ripple is essentially going to make banks and exchanges obsolete. No wonder there is so much pushback from the SEC, for example. So making banks obsolete, well, they are starting to make some of their services obsolete. At least we can confirm that. The Nostro and Vostro account component to all these major banks, this is why these major banks want Ripple squashed in the United States. The JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachses, these guys have made a lot of money on Nostro and Vostro transactions. They see Ripple as a threat. They're now going full balls to the wall in court. But guys, it has been noted, 7.5 billion people. This is what Arthur Britto predicted back in 2017. And some are saying, well, the XRP ledger can't handle that volume. Is that true? Apparently not, guys. An article I dug up from Quora where David Schwartz talks about Cobalt. Now, again, this is real old school information in the XRP community. Cobalt is a consensus algorithm developed by Ethan McGraw while he was working at Ripple. An XRP ledger using Cobalt would likely be significantly faster than the XRP ledger currently is. This wouldn't significantly affect the number of transactions per second the ledger can handle because that isn't limited by the consensus algorithm, but it would permit transactions to confirm in less than 2 seconds rather than the current confirmation time of less than 7 seconds. Cobalt itself doesn't do everything that the XRP ledger needs in a consensus algorithm. It doesn't handle the second-to-second ordering of transactions to ensure the network remains in agreement. It needs another algorithm layered underneath it whose participation is governed by the Cobalt layer. If Cobalt were implemented in the XRP ledger, it would govern participation in an inner consensus algorithm that would be fast and light because its participants would be universally agreed upon by the Cobalt layer. The Cobalt layer, which also reached consensus over fee and rule changes, but its primary job would be to reach consensus over the participants in the lower high-speed consensus layer to keep that layer functioning to permit fast transaction ordering. Every node would police the nodes participating in the transaction ordering scheme and use the higher layer Cobalt consensus to vote out nodes that are poorly performing and vote in nodes that are highly performing. The set of participants in the lower layer would be agreed upon by the Cobalt layer. So David Schwartz just giving you guys the technicals of Cobalt. We know this has been in development for a while. Not to mention, guys, what is the 589 atomic number? It equates to none other than You guessed it, Cobalt. Just put in the pieces of the puzzle together for you guys. 7.5 billion people could be using the XRP ledger. We know that so many more DLT and blockchain companies have come into the space since 2017. So this was a very lofty view at that time. I don't think Ripple's off track. They are still the #1 company building into the future for payments. Their partnerships speak volumes. So yes, I do think they are going to take up a lion's share of the market, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.